Hi, this is Aaron Marcus, host of the Acting and Modeling Success Summit of 2012, and we are very fortunate to have Lori Wyman with us today. And let me tell you all a little bit about Lori. She's one of the most prominent casting directors in the Southeast and has been casting films, television shows, and commercials in South Florida since 1979. She also travels the country giving auditioning for film and television project workshops for the industry beginners and professionals, and she created a video on auditioning for film and television. And Lori also recently published her first book titled The Organic Actor, Insider Secrets to Auditioning for Film and Television. All of her information is right on your monitor. Lori, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron.
Hey, it's so nice having you here. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, and I know it might be somewhat personal, and it's not necessarily a standard answer for the industry, but what are your thoughts? I'd asked this to some other people, but I'm curious, when you're auditioning people for film and television, what are your thoughts for actors dressing the part?
Well, here's what I say. I say you need to dress so that we can, when we look at you, we can understand that you could be the part. For instance, if you are auditioning for the role of a high-powered attorney, don't walk in a pair of shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt, because then it's harder for me as a client to look at you and imagine that you could be this high-powered attorney. So you need to give us a hint that you can be what we are looking for. By the same token, you don't want to come in looking like you're dressed up in a Halloween costume. So if you're supposed to be dressed up as like if you're supposed to be dressed up as a nurse, you don't need to come in with the stethoscope around your neck and the little thermometer sticking out of your pocket and a little hat on your head. But you may want to come in a pair of white slacks and a white t-shirt and white sneakers, so you give a nurse-like appearance. I think that's really, really important, because if I'm looking for a bad guy, because I also do the casting for the Burn Notice television series. So many times I'm looking for the bad guy. If you come in a nice polo shirt, nice aqua polo shirt, and a pair of Dockers, and a pair of nice topsider shoes, you look like the nice guy next door. You don't look like the thug or the gangster or the murderer. And it's really hard for a client to look at you and envision a bad guy when you're looking like the real nice, friendly dad. So I think that dressing the part, when you say dressing the part, I think you need to, quote unquote, dress the part so that you can give the client the idea that you are what we are looking for.
I'd ask the same, I'd ask the same question to someone who casts television commercials, and essentially he was saying the same thing, but I wasn't sure if it really was any different for film and television, and according to you, it's really not. It's pretty much make sure that they really see who that character is and that you can believably look like that character. Now,
that's right.
I'm wondering, when you are auditioning, let's say for a television series, would you ever send a note or a comment to the director about a specific actor, or even to the actor's agent after the audition, or is that not something that a casting director would be involved with?
I think that every casting director does their own thing, so I can only answer you from my particular perspective. But if I have a casting and there is something that I need the actor to know, I would personally tell the agent. I think that feedback is important, and whenever I have time, or if something would affect the actor so that the next time they come in, it could make their audition a little bit better, then I would definitely give the agent some information. And as far as the director goes, when I bring actors in to meet the director, they might ask me my opinion, if I had any input, and I will give it to them, because that's why I'm hired. I'm hired to present the best actors to them, and I'm also hired for any input I might be able to give them. So then I will do that as well.
It's funny, a lot of times actors don't really understand that the casting director wants us to be great. They're rooting for
right.
every actor who walks into that room. I assume part of it might be just because, you're nice and you like to see people do well, but also because it makes your job better when you can bring in great actors to show, the directors and producers.
Well, it makes me look better. That's for sure. There's two reasons. One, like I said, it makes me look better, and of course, I'm purely selfish. That's why. But the second reason is, if I can find who I'm looking for on the first go round, I don't need to cast anymore. I'm done. So that's really, there's two reasons. I want to come in on my first casting session. I want to knock it out of the park, and I want to move on to the next project. And I want the director and the producer to say, "Wow, great job, Lori."
Well,
I
I
like
guess
those attaboys as well.
Well, I guess, and also, there are budgets and they're paying you. And if they see that, boy, she's so efficient, she knows her talent, she brings in great
Hmm.
people, this isn't stretching out for, weeks at a time, we don't have to travel all over the United States, this is great. So, certainly it makes you look better as well. I get that.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
something I'm curious about, because I know and it can vary from different places, but from your perspective, when an actor comes in and does a slate, and actually, would you tell everybody exactly what slating for the camera means?
Okay, sure. And then are you going to go segue into, should we slate
Yes.
in character? Okay, then great.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what a
You're a
slate?
mind reader.
Yes,
Besides
exactly.
being a great casting director, you read minds.
That's right as well. Um, what a slate is basically is your introduction. You're introducing yourself, and then you're going into your audition. Now, I'm a big proponent of, yes, you must slate in character. Now, what I mean by that is, if you are coming in as a sweet, nice, adorable, wonderful character, then when you say your name, you have a smile on your face, and you look sweet. Hi, my name is Lori Wyman. Now, if you are auditioning as a mean thug, or a miserable person, or a suicidal person, or a depressed person, or somebody who's completely the opposite of that, why you don't want to come in and go, you know, my name is Lori Wyman. You don't want to be mean, but you don't want to be all nice and smiley and sweet. Now, I have heard actors say, well, I tried to make my slate a little bit different so that they could see that I'm a good actress and I can go from one character to the other. I have a really great piece of advice for everybody. No, that is not what you want. You don't want to ever let them catch you acting. You want to let them catch you being. So if you are a particular character, and this also goes for accents, if your character, let's say, has an Hispanic accent, or has a Russian accent, or a French accent, then when you slate, you should slate with that accent as well, so that you go from the slate with that accent right into the audition, so the client believes that that is how you speak, because then it's more, for them, they can buy it. Nobody wants to think that you're faking an accent. Well, they're faking, I don't know. Maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe they were able to do it just that one time, but how do I know they're going to be able to maintain it? Whatever kind of accent you have. I have lots of stories, and I've written a lot of them in the book, and I know I only have a short amount of time, but I have a lot of wonderful stories that corroborate that piece of information. But just suffice it to say, when you slate, you want a slating character. When you slate, you want to make sure if you have an accent, the accent is in your slate, so that when you go right into your audition, it just is seamless and it looks as real and as natural as possible.
Now, when an actor comes in, and it's going to vary from actor to actor and audition to audition, but sometimes people are going to be very nervous. And
Hmm.
nervousness can come out in many, many different ways during an audition. But when you see somebody who is nervous that you think really could be perfect for this part, and you would like this
Hmm.
person to do well at the audition, as you mentioned, for a variety of reasons, are there any things that you would do to help relax the person, or is your feeling, hey, look, if you're this nervous here, I don't know that I want to seriously, have you sent out to a set and actually, get cast in this job and then kind of freak out on a set.
Right, okay. So first I tell the actor to breathe. I say, okay, let's breathe, take in a lot of oxygen to the brain. And no, I'm serious, I tell them to breathe. And then I ask them what they're nervous about, which sometimes makes them more nervous, but sometimes it doesn't. And usually when we start off, I'm the only one in the room. It's Lori and the camera. So I ask them, which one of us is making you nervous? And sometimes, they laugh, they giggle. I might try to distract them by asking them, oh, where'd you get that shirt? Oh, I love your shoes. I just bring something else into the mix. But the truth of the matter is most people don't do that. And if you can't handle the audition, how in the world are you going to handle the set when you've got the director and the producer and maybe whoever the star is? Maybe you're working with some big name star, and maybe you are, you've got the lighting people and the makeup people and the hair people and the wardrobe people and the grips and the electricians, and there's a lot of commotion going on the set. If you can't handle the room with one or two or three people, then you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to work on. Everybody is nervous, okay? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the guy who books every single thing you go on or if you're a person who works one time a year. Nerves are normal. Nerves are healthy. But it's how you channel those nerves and it's how you work with the nerves. I mean, I have seen people who absolutely, completely fall apart. And then I've seen people who, they take a deep breath and you never know that they're nervous. And it's okay to be nervous. It's just how you work with them and how you're able to put them into your character and do an audition. But nerves are normal. Nerves are healthy. As long as they're not paralyzing, they're okay.
Yeah, I tell you the truth. I mean, I like being nervous because it brings a lot of energy to the audition. And exactly with what you said, I've learned just how to channel it so that nobody else in the room knows that I'm nervous, but I'm just feeling a lot of this energy flowing during the audition, which I think can actually be very helpful to me. So now I've got a question for you with Burn Notice. So for most of the roles that you are casting, do people have callbacks, and that's when they're going to be reading for the director and some other people, maybe writers and other people involved?
Usually when I do a callback I do Burn Notice, I do the Glades. Magic City is a new Stars television show. I've been casting that. That'll be out in another month or two. Or feature films. Usually there's one, two, maybe three people in the room. The director is one, and sometimes it's a writer, producer person. That's usually in myself. So those are usually, it's not a huge crowd. For commercials, it's different. Commercials, they bring in, gosh, no, I mean,
Right.
so many people. But for TV and film, it's usually 1 to 2 people in the room. Every once in a while, a third person, but that's not normal.
Now, is there
1 to 2 people.
Is there some information that you can offer the actor who does the initial audition and then gets a callback, which is very exciting? Now, don't start spending the money when you get a callback, because it just means that they liked what you did, but it doesn't mean you're booked for the job. So
Correct.
when they come back, what are some of the things that you've seen actors do at the callback that have really hurt them as far as booking the job?
Well, I love this one story. If I could take a minute to tell this, it's a great story. There was a guy many years ago who auditioned for a television show, and he worked very hard. His pre-read with me was brilliant, and he worked very hard to get himself into the character. And this was years ago, and he was supposed to be a very, very dark character. So he had put tattoos on his body. He had piercings, facial piercings, earring piercings, wore very black clothes, painted his nails black. It was just one of those kind of gothic kind of characters. He came in, he did a brilliant audition. He really did. Acting-wise, he did a brilliant audition. And I could see the look on the producer's face. He was very excited about the audition. And he looked at the he looked at the actor and he said, "Wow, that was great." And then he commented on a tattoo that was on the actor's neck. And he said to the guy, goes, "What is that on your neck? What kind of tattoo is that?" And the guy looked at him, the actor looked at him and said, "Oh, this isn't real." He said, "None of this is real." And he pulled out the nose ring, he pulled out the earrings. He said, "Oh," he goes, "I am the straightest, cleanest, nicest guy you'd ever want to meet." He goes, this is not me at all." And I watched the facial expression of the producer go from excitement about finding this really awesome gothic guy who could act to disappointment. And in the end, the actor did not get the part. And I can tell you, as sure as I'm sitting here, if that actor had just kept his mouth shut, I'm sure he would have booked the role, because he did such an awesome audition. Clients want to think that they're booking the real deal. I can't tell you how many police officers I book as police officers because they really know how to handcuff. They really know how to shoot. They really know how to arrest somebody. I mean, so it gives it a little bit more authenticity. And that's something that I just watched an actor completely sabotage himself. And I see that all the time. Or I see an actor say, "What day does this shoot?" And the client will say, "Oh, it shoots on Tuesday." "Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to be busy on Tuesday." "Okay, great. Well, we'll keep that in mind." The actor walks out, and the client says, "Well, forget him." And then I've actually had actors say, "How come I didn't book it?" And I say, "Because you said you weren't available." "Oh, well, I wasn't sure if I was available." "Well, then just be quiet. Wait until they book you. Just don't. And I've seen so many actors shoot themselves in the foot, so many different reasons, but those are just a couple of them.
Got it. So I guess the moral of the story is stay in character, stay true to the character, and it's kind of like, I guess, being questioned by an attorney. The less you say, the better. You know?
100% right. You're right. You're right, Aaron. Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to, just because I know we're starting to run out of time a little bit, Joel, do I have time for some more questions, or are there questions that are coming in to be asked?
Yeah, we've got someone who asked a question. I've only been called into the casting agency's office 2 times in over 3 years. Does this mean I suck, and should I give up? I thought that'd be an interesting question to throw out.
Oh, okay. All right. So a talent agency is the agency that represents you, and a casting director company is what I do. Now, and it does not mean that they are a bad actor. It just may mean that, and I don't know, obviously, I don't know specifically what this person's qualifications are, but sometimes they just don't. Like I remember one time I had an actress say to me, I don't know why I haven't been in your office for a year. And I said, "Well, I didn't even know you were in town." And she said, "Well, my agent said she keeps submitting me and you don't want to see me." And I said to her, "Your agent has not submitted your name in a year." So the agent was trying to put something on me, and I didn't even know the girl was in town. So unfortunately, you as an actor may not really know the truth of the matter. And so the agent's trying to cover themselves. So they go, "Oh, yeah, no, the casting director doesn't want to see you." And from the casting director's perspective, they don't either A, don't know who you are, or B, don't know you're in town. So unless you, I guess, can get all the facts, you don't know. Also, if you have auditioned for that casting director before, you didn't get a call back, maybe you might want to say to your agent, "Could you find out why?" Because I do have people who come in and they're not very good, and I don't want to see them again. I mean, why would I want to see somebody who's not very good? But then I find out that they're studying, they're doing theater, they're taking classes. Okay, well, let's see them again. Maybe it's 6 months later, and they've been working, and they've been studying, and let's see them again. Because people grow. The thing with acting, the beauty of acting, is you can make yourself better by taking classes, by studying, but you cannot make yourself better by sitting at home and wondering why nobody wants to see you. And that is a problem with some actors. They say, "Well, I'm a natural." No, you're not. This is something that takes work. If it's the same idea, it's the same principle as working out with a trainer, with a physical trainer. You cannot sit home all day eating bonbons and wonder why your body is not in great shape. You must work out. You must take classes. This is a daily thing. Sometimes you can work out with trainers. Sometimes you can work out by yourself. You can jog in the morning. You can get yourself in shape. You got to do something. And it's the same with acting. You've got to do something. You will get better. I have seen so many of my actors who've gotten so much better over the years because they're working at it. It doesn't happen on its own. You have
Hey, Lori,
to
can I just ask a real quick question here, and then I know
Sure.
we do have to wrap up. But I
Okay.
know on the West Coast, you're not going to email in an audition and be considered for a TV show because you literally have to be there. Things just happen too quickly. I know on the East Coast,
Correct.
there are some shows that will allow you to email in auditions. How does it work for you? Have you ever accepted that? Have you ever booked anybody
Oh, I
from?
accept it all the time. I accept it all the time. I am Burn Notice, which is one of the series I'm doing. We're going into our 6th year, and we're not allowed to repeat actors. So that's a lot of actors every year that I need to find new ones and new ones and new ones. So, but you're right, it is a very quick turnaround. So I need if you get the script on Monday, like for instance, I'm casting a television show right now, and I told everybody I have to have your videos by Thursday because I have to send them in to the director by Friday. And I sent everything in yesterday, and my director gave me who they liked this morning, and I got someone's video this afternoon. Too late.
Now,
I feel badly. I know that they paid somebody to put them on tape, and it's too late.
Now, I'm assuming if somebody's out of town, but that would mean that they would be flying in at their own expense to do the actual shoot?
Correct.
Okay.
If you are, if you want to put yourself on tape and you don't want to come in for the initial call, that's okay. Put yourself on tape as long as you know and you understand, from my perspective, from what I'm doing, that you're a local hire. So you may need to travel yourself, and it depends on the show. Every show is different. Some of my shows will give an out-of-town actor a hotel room. Some of my shows will give an out-of-town actor a compensation for mileage, so you just have to figure out. Every show is different. But if you're willing to work as a local hire, then yes, it's your responsibility to get yourself in and find a place for you to stay.
Great. Hey, well, Lori, I want to thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody should be checking out Lori's video and her book. All the information is right on the website. And hey, congratulations for all these shows. That is really, really something. And I hope maybe we'll get a chance to work together at some point in the future.
All right, Aaron, thanks so much for asking.
Sure.
I appreciate you including me.
Thank you very much.